Hey, everybody, welcome to another edition of the America Guns and Freedom podcast with your host, me, the Yankee Marshal. As always, this is just an open chat. You all set the agenda. You ask the questions, you suggest the topics. I will try to address whatever you put out there. We'll do my best. Doesn't have to be gun related. And if I can't answer a question, maybe someone in the live chat can. There's a lot of experience out there, so pay attention over there. Engage in conversation over there. Make some friends. Build some community, with some fellow pro-gun people. And like I said, though, I will try to answer every question, address every topic. Now, I like to start by reading orders that came in for merchandise, but today we do not have any. We didn't sell anything over the last 24 hours. If you want something, go get something like Pete's Grindhouse. This is one of my favorite designs. Pete's Grindhouse. He's got his rifle leg there. This is a matchup of Steamboat Willie and Planet Terror, in case you haven't figured it out, because he's already a peg leg person, and now he's got what's her name, Meg McGowan or something, got her rifle on his leg just like she did. Mashup of those two movies. I like doing mashups. So go on over there, buy something if you want. TYMPpistolproject.com. There's links there on that page to go over to my Shopify shop for merchandise, which supports TYMPP. There's also a place there to sign up for Patreon, which supports pets and vets. And you can also sign up over there for Subscribestar, which supports pets and vets, or Patreon, depending on which tier you choose. Also, you can sign up over there to be a beneficiary of TYMPP. Pretty much everything you need to do for the channel, you can do it from TYMPpistolproject.com. So head on over there. I'm going to go here and see if we got any questions coming in. Let's see. John Heasley just got an entry into the double super secret stock giveaway, which it will be a different one today. I actually did the test drawing for the new stock we'll be doing, the test burn, actually. And I'll show it here just so people are wondering which one we're doing it for this month. Last month was Mickey Mouse. This month is going to be Marvin, and it's going to say, "Where's the kaboom? The Yankee Marshal posse." And as you can see, I took his AR-15 away for that I did in his original drawing, and I drew him a little 10-22, since this is going to be on 10-22. And, since 10-22s don't kaboom, I think that's a pretty good thing on there. Where's the kaboom? So that will be the stock we're getting entries into this month. So I should have a finished product within a few days. But the one we're giving away right now, which we will be giving out tomorrow, in case you're wondering, is this one. And the picture doesn't do it justice, but that's the one we're doing right now. The oh boy, Mouse Gun Willie, Steamboat Willie Mickey with the TYMPP there. And I've got it right here. It actually looks much better in person than the pictures. I'm really happy with it. I made it look antique-y. If that's a word. Did it with the black and whites for the drawing, did the stock in a way that kind of makes it look old and burnt, just varying pattern in it and varying color depth, and then gave it a nice satin finish. So that's the one we're giving away tomorrow. I'm going to go put it on the gun tomorrow, and then tomorrow evening we'll give it away. And that way I can just call them the next morning and say, this is who won, send it to them. But as I was saying, let's get back. Oh, and he also said he would want to get a short barrel shotgun, because we were talking about that in the first part of the chat. John and Mandrick. Well, that wasn't really a question. That was him getting an entry into the drawing, I think. But when I think he did ask a question, he says, "What's the bigger holiday? Canada Day, not a holiday as far as I'm concerned. So it would be between 4th of July or Yankee's birthday." I don't give two shits about my birthday. I always don't even want to celebrate my birthday. When people say, "What do you want to do for your birthday?" I'm like, ignore it, forget about it, leave me alone. That would be things you could do for my birthday. Never been a big birthday person. I haven't had a birthday party since I was like 6. So we aren't a big family for birthdays. My mom would be like, "Hey, it's your birthday. Anything you want?" I'd be like, "Yeah, I could use this. I could use your jacket," and she'd get it for me. She did get me a TV one time. I remember that. I got a color television in high school. That was big. That was a big deal back then. But that's about. Some will say July 4th. It's a much bigger holiday. Now, my birthday is a holiday. It's Pearl Harbor Day, but it ain't as big a holiday as July 4th. Although July 4th is one of those holidays that I just kind of ignore too. I don't go to fireworks displays or picnics or anything. So it's just another day to me. Sean Bain chimed in. He chimed in here and he said, if you had to choose between a Ruger and 327, I'm assuming he's meaning like, well, what is he meaning? Like a GP100 or an LCR or what? Or a Judge or a 38 Special, which one? Well, I think between Judge, I could shoot 45 Colt in. So I think I go with the Judge. But if it was like, if we're talking like, do I rather have a 38 Special or a 327 Magnum small revolver like an LCR or an SP101 or something? Well, I'm going to go with the 327 because 38 Special is not very powerful. So if I've got a choice between 38 Special or 327, you're going to get an extra round and each round's more powerful. However, if it's 357 Magnum or 327, well, you're getting one more round, but each round is less powerful. I'd stick with the 5 rounds of 357 Magnum. But since you specifically asked 38 Special, 5 rounds of 38 Special, can't compete with 6 rounds of 327. But if it was me personally, and I would still go with the Ruger in 327 over the Judge, because the Ruger in 327, especially if it's an LCRX, is far more practical a gun. So that's what I'd end up going with, even though I think the caliber is better in the Judge because you can shoot 45 Colt. I made that a long answer to that question, didn't I? Who was that? Just asked that. Was that Jay Lugo just asked that? Or was that Sean Bain? That was Sean Bain that just asked that. Jay Lugo said, missed the opening. It reminded me of the 6th grade English class. No one understood the question and just knee-jerked the answers. But who am I to mock? I was a public education boy. Well, me too. Public education is, people give public education a good, big, bad rap. How many people can't read? Used to be a whole lot of people you would not be able to read. Public education made Americans one of the most educated groups of people ever. Now it's been sagging off in recent years because we don't want to pay for public education. The big companies and stuff, they don't want to pay for public education, because here's the thing: when you educate people, there's 2 groups that really suffer. And it's mostly wealthy people, but it's the people who own businesses, because educated workers are hard to take advantage of. And it's religion, because it's hard to force religion on people who are educated. So those 2 groups don't like public education. They want it to be gotten rid of and privatized so that they can turn schools into religious schools where they release people with the right learning, learning that they're supposed to be sheep and that they're supposed to be subservient and they're supposed to suffer in this world so that they can prosper in the next. That's why they want to privatize schools and gear so much money towards private schools, because they can be religious schools. And that's what they want. They want that religious indoctrination in people so that they're better workers, more exploitable workers, and more exploitable Christians. They don't think through the religion too much. And a lot of people ain't going to like that answer, but that's just the way it really is. John and Mandrick chimed in and said, once the items are taken off the NFA, how long until Washington, Illinois, California, and New Jersey ban them? The courts won't stop them. Well, if they do ban them, they'll have to explain why they're banning certain guns, because they're not on the NFA anymore. They're not declared specifically dangerous. So can you ban things that are in regular use? There's no historic precedent other than the 1930 bill. There's definitely nothing from the founders' days that would justify that. The NFA on its face is unconstitutional on its own. So to make a new law to do something that an unconstitutional old law did is going to be kind of hard. Not going to be as easy as people think. Like even getting to where you have to have a 4473 for a suppressor, that's not going to be able to have any legal grounding at all, because the courts have already said suppressors are not arms. So if they're not arms, then they don't fall under the purview of the ATF. So why would you be doing a 4473? There would be no reason for a 4473. In fact, there would be no justification for a 4473. No legally valid reason, for one, for a suppressor, which I've been trying to make that point to people for a while now. It's a win-win situation, I think, when they come off. But some states will try to ban them, but a lot of those states have already banned them, the ones that would, because they're banned in like 8 states. So, and then it would give reason to challenge those laws. I think we'd end up with less states banning them then than we have now. Let's get back to the questions here. That was John and Mandrick. Then we got Mike White. Mike White chimed in. Leave a super chat for Yankee. Oh, wait, I already read that. I shouldn't read that part. For an entry into the Marvin drawing. He got him an entry into the Marvin drawing. Well, the Marvin stock. It's not just Marvin. I'm not giving you Marvin. I'm giving you a gun stock with Marvin on it. And yes, I know Marvin is not a public domain character like Steamboat Willie. But since I'm not making these for sale, not profiting off of the actual doing a design, not selling anything that actually has the design on it, really legally, they couldn't do any more to me than if I had, Mickey Mouse or Marvin on the side of my car. And there's been tons of cases where they lose cases like that, where we just want someone just put it on there, like painted it on their house or something. They're not profiting or hurting their business or damaging their reputation, so there's not really much of a case against them. So I'm not too worried about it. Let me get back where I was. Kevin Payton chimed in. Kevin Payton. And he says, oh, hell, Phil. Rumor is the Mothman is due to return this coming November, 59th anniversary. Why 59th? Why wouldn't he wait till 60th? I think you would wait till the 60th. That don't make sense to me. I won't be there if he comes back. My mom and them will be there. I can't get my mom out of that fucking town. I tried to get her to move up here. She born there, raised, well, she wasn't born there, but she was born and raised in that area, not in the city proper, but, always Mason, Ripley, places like that. Now she has moved away a little bit, like Colorado and stuff, but never stuck. She always went back home, after like 6 months or so. She just never has been able to be away from family and her home. So she's kind of a puss when it comes to that. All right, let me get back to the topic here. But that was Kevin Payton saying the Mothman returneth. Mikey D chimed in. And said, for a shot at the super secret Marvin stock giveaway, wink, wink, to go with Mickey. LOL. Well, you ain't got the Mickey yet. We'll see. We'll see who wins. But tomorrow's the drawing. Here's the stock. It'll be on the gun tomorrow. I'll have pictures of it on the gun. And then I will send it. Why am I stroking it like that? Why do I always do that shit? I guess I get something that long and hard in my hand, and that's just my instinct, of what I'm used to. Mine. I'm talking about mine, by the way, not just any random. $5 is $5. Let's see, where am I at? That was Mikey D. Christy Jones chimed in and said, hail Phil, how much plus P or plus P plus, he spelled the P, P-E-E, is too much in terms, I think he's a little Freudian slip there. I'm starting to think Gummy Wuzzle might be into some weird shit. Like the difference between a garbanzo bean and a chickpea. You can't pay a garbanzo to bean on your face. But how much plus P, it puts me off reading it like that. Or plus P plus is too much in terms of regular use. Well, it depends on what gun it is. You can't just say that willy-nilly that, oh, you can't go to plus P plus and shoot more than 8 up because it depends on the loading. Because one of the big things about plus P plus is there's no real regulation for it. It can be whatever. I don't trust anything plus P plus, period. I won't shoot plus P plus. Most manufacturers don't make plus P plus, so I don't worry about it. As regular plus P, as far as that's concerned, well, most guns, even aluminums, will be rated for it. If it's an older gun that's not rated for it, but it's metal, like an old model 36 or something, well, then you're fine. You're not going to have any problems. You really only start having problems when you get into the early iterations of the lightweight guns. That then you could start having some flame cutting, some wear, etc. when you're shooting plus P plus or plus P with just a P, no PEE. I swear to God, some people, you're gross. All y'all are gross. We got one last person weighing in here, paying his $2 tithe to Phil. Which, like I said, a lot of y'all ain't paid you $2 tithe to Phil. I need to start going through the roster and see who's paid their tithe and who hadn't, and put you on a Phil hit list. He's gonna fucking get you. I won't publicize it or nothing, but I will send it to Phil. I'll read it to him during our nightly debriefing. We are not a support group. We are enabling jerks. Buy that gun you want, pay the fucking tithe, and save your single wide. Well, I don't know who exactly he's speaking to right there. I don't have a gun I want right. Well, I mean, I got a ton of guns I want. There's none that I realistically want or thinking of getting right now. But yeah, I always say, anybody, if you want to get a gun, if your question is, should I buy this gun? The answer is always going to be yes. If it's should I buy this or that, well, it's going to be both. Unless, of course, one of them's a Kel-Tec. And then we'll be like, no. That's the only time I think I would say don't buy that gun. If you said, I want to buy a Kel-Tec, I'd be like, no. Take that money and buy, a cap gun or something that will actually give you some fun and actually work. BB gun, something like that. Don't waste it on a Kel-Tec. That does it for the super chats today. Let's see. We got emails here. Let's get to those real quick. Present, share screen, Winder. All right, here we go. Boom, share. Yankee. This is from Frank Rodriguez. Yankee, this is a Reddit post from a Lyft driver whose passenger left a loaded mag in her car. I wonder if anyone in the chat can match up this mag to the specific make or model of the handgun it goes to. I don't know. The base plate looks like a Smith & Wesson, like the SDV9 or the SD9s. But I don't know because it's definitely one of those weird double stacks that narrow to the top. So I don't know those don't do that. So I don't know what this is. It goes down to the single stack at the top. But whoever it is, they're shooting Full Metal Jacket target ammo. So they're not real picky about their ammo. But I don't know what it is. I'm not familiar with them. I'm betting it's a cheaper made gun, but it's hard to tell. Could be a very expensive gun that's got bad taste in ammo. But it is one that goes from, a wide double stack down to a single stack at the feeding point. There's some Glocks that do that. So I don't know what it is, but some people might know. Close window. There we go. No, why is it not closing that window? Close window. It's staying open for some reason. Close window. There, finally. All right, next email here. Let's see, Winder. This is from Energy AOE4. New Beretta PX4 Storm and a used Colt Officer model in 22 long rifle. Hey, Yankee, I picked up a new Beretta PX4 Storm in 40 and a used Colt Officer model in 22 long rifle at the gun shop in Burbank, California. Like that little PX4 Storm. I was hoping Caden would want one of the PX4s. He did not. He did not want the PX4 Storm. But nice choices there and nice magnets. Oh, I forgot to make those magnets someone asked for yesterday. I forgot who asked for them. If you asked for the magnets yesterday, send me an email so that I can remember who and then make them and send you the link to them. Share screen, Winder. This is from Gummy Wuzzle. Old ass ammo. How old is too old for ammo? You know, I don't think that's too old. I can tell a look at it ain't too old. I mean, ammo. People are still shooting ammo from the World Wars and the World War II, and they're fine. So I don't think there's really, as long as it's kept clean and dry, I don't really think there's a problem. I went to a gun show about 7 or 8 years ago and got that bag of 40 Smith & Wesson. Oh yeah, that's relatively new stuff. Ain't no wrong with that. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about it. And yeah, this stuff here, the police stuff, yeah, that's fine too. As long as it hasn't gotten wet or anything, you'll be fine. We got another email coming in here from, I think this is Peter DeBoner. And he's got his picture of his 586 in his new 1791 holster. The break-in went quickly. It fits like a glove now. Will be perfect for winter carry this year. Too hot to carry right now. Why is it too hot? I got two problems here. One major problem, one minor problem. My problem is I'm like, why is it too hot? Open carry. Ain't going to make you any hotter wearing that open carry. And two, my major problem, the one that is really, really bothering me is that you are wearing a black holster with a brown belt, and there's not even any brown accents on that holster. So this is bad. I know you got Lyme disease and all. So maybe you're not thinking straight right now, but black holster, brown belt. I hate to see your shoes. So why are these not closing when I close them? We got another one here. Share screen, Winder. This is from Ghost Shadow. Lever action Ruger 1022, the Ruger Model 96. Yeah, basically, that's what it is. Little 22. If I had stock for that, I could make custom stock for one of those too. This wouldn't be hard at all. I don't think I can get those as quick, easily, and cheaply as the 1022s, though. I'll be honest. Oof. All right, let's see. Make sure I'm still caught up on all the super chats. I haven't heard any emails ding, so I'm assuming I am. Yes, I am. And we're caught up over there. So let's get to the questions and see if we got anything coming in. Do you think Bigfoot's still afraid of humans, or is he fine right now? Well, he's not afraid of humans. He just cautious around humans. He don't like them. Not liking something and being afraid of it is not the same thing. Just because you don't like something don't mean you're scared of it. Like, I don't like broccoli. I'm not frightened of it. I don't have broccoli phobia or nothing. I just don't like it. It tastes like dirt. I don't like eating dirt. So Bigfoot's not afraid of people. He just doesn't care for them, and he's real cautious around them. I don't know if you follow a YouTube channel called Save a Fox, which saves not just foxes, but different animals. She sadly committed suicide because of cyberbullying. What kind of person would cyberbully someone who spends their time saving animals? People are disgusting. I'd like to find the people who cyberbullied, and then it should be legal to beat each and every one of them to the point where they no longer can walk ever again. And that can be a lesson to them. I have no tolerance for cyberbullies because they're the worst cowards in the fucking world. That's why I don't see how some people get cyberbullied into like, I'm going to kill myself because of what they said. What about what those pansy little pussies on the internet said? You're going to kill yourself? Snap out of it. They're fucking worthless. Nothing they say matters, period. So, but some people aren't able to do that. And I've taken some heat on the internet before, willingly sometimes. Done some things I knew were going to get me a lot of heat just to make a point. So I don't understand people who commit suicide over it. Thank you very much for the glass. Did you hear about the church shooting in Wayne, Michigan? Yes, I did. An armed church security officer shot the perp who had rammed a vehicle into the building and began shooting. Did he ram a vehicle into the building? The story I saw is he just got out of his vehicle and he was wearing the black vest and all this other stuff. And he had a rifle and a pistol, and two church employees. And the story, a lot of the stories say security personnel, but the APA story and the police report just says two church employees. Two church employees and a parishioner. So a person who goes there opened fire on him as he approached the building. He shot back, shot one of them in the leg. They shot him, mortally wounded him. But as that was happening, another deacon of the church ran over him with his truck. And he did fire some shots at the truck too, but truck wins in gun versus truck. So, or truck wins. Yeah, I think I said it right, didn't I? So yes, I did see. I'm actually probably going to do a video on it tomorrow. Just didn't have time today. That stock finally looking good. It took a little while, but things come together. I mean, usually when I do something, it takes it a while to come together. And I panic every step of the way, thinking it doesn't look perfect yet. But then when I get it all together, I'm like, oh, I actually kind of knew what I was doing. I got the look I was going for. It's nice and satiny and clean looking, and got the Mickey on there and the TYMP. So very, very happy with it. I think it looks much better than it would have if it was just the plain stock with the painted Mickey Mouse on it. I think giving it the antique treatment made all the difference. I don't think that's a word, antique, but it should be a word. Why are there 3 burn lines on the side of the test Marvin wood? Because that's just the test wood. That's where I did tests of burn depths and stuff. It's not that's just the bottom of an old stool. If you look here at the picture where it's not as close up, do I have the original version of it? Hold on. File, export, original unmodified version. Let's see. Where is it? Yeah, here we go. Come on, open up the. Oh, god damn. I hate the fucking GIMP. That's a program, not an actual person. I don't have an actual GIMP. Not on permanent staff or anything. Let's see here. Let me open that up. File, open, boom, boom. See here, if you look at the picture, I have I've burnt a lot of stuff on it. See, there's some other tests of the design we're going with. This is the one I'm actually going to use right here. This is a different dwell setting to make it a little deeper. I've been over here. I was test engraving the signature. So this is just the bottom of an old stool that I've been using as a test. All right. We got a super chat coming in from Jacoby in Japan. Is it just me, or is the SIG 229 such a treat to hold and caress? And when you pick it up, it's just so robust, sturdy, even though it's 21 years old. Well, the 229 is still a very viable gun today. It will be. The 229, 226 will be like the Beretta and the 1911. 50, 60 years after they're made, they're still just as relevant and good as they were when they were built. So, I mean, that's just the way they are. Let's see here. Looks like we're about out of time. Let me make sure we're caught up with the super chats. Yep, we're caught up over there. We just got the one from Jacoby over here. I think Mavis with a Smith & Wesson on a mare's leg would look awesome. It would probably would. Mavis would probably look awesome on one. Hasn't stopped the shitheads in Washington from banning things. Yeah, but you got to remember, when you have the advantage, you have the advantage. You don't want to be at a disadvantage just because you think an advantage won't do you any good. Example, a guy that rebuilt Domino's delivery car, then Domino's filed a lawsuit against him. Well, that can actually hurt their brand because someone thinks that guy's out there driving recklessly, and they actually think it's a Domino's pizza car. So that's not the same thing. If you put a Mickey Mouse on the side of your car, which a lot of cars do have Mickey Mouse on them, and then you go out and drive recklessly, they don't think Walt Disney is out driving recklessly or Mickey Mouse. So you got to understand the subtle differences there. If you make your car look like a Domino's pizza car and you go out and you're speeding, well, then people think Domino's supports speeding. So that does damage their brand. Would you have a 1911 slide cut for an optic or buy a cut slide? I'd buy one. It's just as cheap nowadays to buy one like that way than it is to have it done. Instagram will not let me put the word wretch in the article comment section. The word police have really gone overboard. The word police. Well, why would they not let you say wretch? That's not even a bad word. What some companies call plus P or plus P plus isn't even as hot as Max Sammy spec for my caliber. My hand loads for 120 grain 9mm are 0.5 grains below the max charge at 80 feet per second faster than Hornady plus P. The Ruger LCP mags look like that, do they? Maybe it's a Ruger LCP Max. I don't know. Where are we at? Can't find anyone that has a stock for the Ruger 96. Yeah, I think you're going to have a hard time with that. A number of churches have improved their security in recent years as a result of hearing about high-profile shootings at various churches. Well, yes, they should. And they've started letting parishioners carry and stuff like that, and they should. They should definitely do that. Among other things, Pierce County Sheriff Swank says that the new Washington gun laws would make it illegal to lend your gun to another person to hunt with. They kind of would. Domino's lost the lawsuit. Well, they had a better case. That's a better case to be able to say, because you can make the argument that. But then again, if the guy isn't doing that, then they got no case. They would only have a case if he actually damaged their product, I guess. If he's driving fine. I think Caden's going somewhere. I hear his car starting up. But that looks like that's it for today. Thanks, everyone, for coming. Especially thanks to everybody who helped keep the conversation rolling, everybody who donated to Pets and Vets and helped get got entries into the silver bullet drawing, the stock drawing. We'll do the first stock drawing tomorrow, so keep your eyes and ears open for that. And then I'll have the second one finished in a few days, because it's not going to take nearly as long as the first one. Because the first 20 days was me just figuring out how to use the engraver. So this one will go a lot faster. So like I said, though, thanks everybody for everything you do for the channel. It's appreciated. I will see y'all again tomorrow. Until then, remember, always carry and stay safe until I see you again. Hey everybody, Yankee here. Before we go, I just want to take a second to remind everyone that this channel is 100% viewer funded. We don't take a penny from advertisers, retailers. We don't take money from political organizations. There's no one telling me what I need to tell you. Everything that we do is done through the generosity of our viewers, either buying merchandise or becoming a patron or a Subscribe Star member. You're all the ones that support Pets and Vets and TYMP. And that's the reason I can stay true to myself and loyal only to the people who watch my channel. And I can spend my time talking about what I want to talk about, telling what I think needs to be said, and giving you my uncensored take on things I think you need to hear. So if you'd like to help keep things that way, please support the channel by becoming a patron, a Subscribe Star supporter, or just going over to my web store and buying some merch. The links are all in the upper corner of this video.